tonight we're exploring a critical aspect of business mindset.
Yes, we'll be discussing the essential role that mindset plays in achieving success in the business world.
Yes, we are going to use our combined experience and expertise and shed light on this topic.
Absolutely. So we've weathered our fair share of challenges in the business landscape, and we're here to share our insight with you.
So get ready to gain a deeper understanding of how mindset can influence your business decisions and outcomes.
So the Holistic Business Plug starts right here, right now.
Welcome everyone to another exciting episode of the Holistic Business Plug Show. I am your host, Chastity.
And I am Tamika, and we are discussing a crucial part of entrepreneurship, mindset, and how it affects your entrepreneurial success.
Yes, the power of mindset. So, to kick things off, let's talk about the power of mindset in entrepreneurship. But before we do that, can you define what an entrepreneurial mindset is?
Sure. So it is a mindset that drives innovation, creativity, goal setting, a fearless attitude. So people with this mindset basically see opportunities where other people don't, and they solve problems. The entrepreneurial mindset is unique to one that is creative, communicative, highly motivated to succeed, yet open to risk and failure. So entrepreneurs, they believe that anything is possible and they can improve their situation and live their life on their own terms.
Right, right. I mean, entrepreneurs are a different type of people, I say. I always say that, being an entrepreneur is definitely a choice.
Oh, yes, it is. It is definitely a choice, and it is not one to be taken lightly.
No, no, it's not. And mindset, though, is the foundation of success. It shapes how we perceive challenges when they present themselves and also opportunities as well.
Agreed. So tonight we are going to be diving into some different mindsets that we have experienced, that we've had to shift as entrepreneurs. Let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs basically turn some of their failures into valuable lessons by adopting a growth type of mindset. And so for me personally, that hits home with the growth mindset because before I decided to embark on this entrepreneurial journey, my I only thought about growing within the corporate, growing with the corporate. My whole thought process was to basically, okay, I graduated high school. I come out here to Texas. I did get an associate's degree. So bam, what can I do next? I'm trying to see. I'm going to start off as an admin, bam. Then I'm going to move up here and I'm going to move up here. Make you feel like Coming to America when the guy was like, and in 2 years, I'll be manager.
Exactly. So yeah, it is very different as an entrepreneur with your growth mindset. Because in corporate world, you just think about, I need to get a promotion. Oh, let me get another promotion. Let me get another degree. And that's your growth mindset. But as an entrepreneur, it's a lot different because you're growing a business.
Right.
So it's, let me hit 6 figures, 7 figures.
Let me add another service.
Exactly. Add another service, provide more value, That's
Yeah.
the shift that you have, especially in a growth mindset as an entrepreneur. And it is definitely a shift, because thinking about working for someone else and only being responsible for this piece of the business versus
The entire piece.
exactly
All the pieces.
all the pieces, all the things. So yes, it's definitely a mindset shift that you have to go through, and it's not always the easiest shift, because we've been programmed, especially if you worked. I worked in corporate America for 25 years. If
Right.
you've worked in corporate America or in healthcare or whatever the case may be for an extended period of time, it's not easy to just switch that off and turn on something else.
Oh, it's not. I think like entrepreneurs struggle with limiting their beliefs and abilities of, what they can do. Because even though we've worked in corporate America for
Mhm.
over 20 years. Like you say, you can't turn it on or off. I mean, it's hard to switch it on and off. And so then when you find yourself in your own business, things that you would have easily answered or knew the processes to for your employer, it's hard for you to implement those same ideas and ideations in your own business, when that's all it is. Like when you say, what's your policy and procedures? I've created plenty policies and procedures for many corporations. Some just, off the bat when you're in groups working with others. And those same things could be used to grow your own brand instead of just doing it for somebody else's brand to become bigger.
Yes, and that kind of moves into our next mindset, which is that CEO mindset.
Ah.
So going from employee to CEO, whether you
Mhm.
were in the C-suite and you were an executive, but moving to CEO, and like you said, making those decisions and understanding that you've been making those decisions, but it's a different mindset when my decisions can tank the company. It's not just my decisions don't just affect me. They affect my staff, they affect my clients, they affect everything around my business. So it's a trying transition to try to switch from being an employee to being a CEO.
Oh, it is. I mean, just an example of, we were talking off air and I was talking to another friend as well. I'm thinking about a 1099 and I'm like, well, why do I have to have a 1099? I'm not an employee. I'm sitting there trying to figure out, this corporation, this entity is requesting from me. And I'm like, and my friend was like, you own Chastity Does That. I'm like, oh yeah,
You're the employer. Yes.
I'm the employer. Oh, I mean, I don't know. For new entrepreneurs, just beginning like myself, just in the midst of it all, trying to be your own boss and trying not like to think like a worker bee, it's hard. It's very hard to separate yourself like that, the brain function.
Right. And shifting that, because if you, again, as an employee, you were responsible for your job. Now, as a
Yeah.
CEO, you're responsible for everything. I actually have talked to clients that are now CEOs, and they still want to be in the pits of the business.
Right.
And
Okay.
that's not what
Yeah.
a CEO is to do. A CEO is supposed to go out and get more business and be out talking to potential clients. They're not supposed to be in the weeds of their business, especially once you get employees. Now, of
Right.
course, if you are everything until you get employees, then yes. But once you get employees, you have to trust your staff to do what you pay them to do, which is sometimes hard because,
Yeah.
we're in the mindset of, if I want it done right, I just do it myself.
I better do it myself. No.
So as a CEO versus an employee, you have to get into that mindset where I may want to be personable with, the janitor, but at times I have to be the boss, and
Right.
I can't be that personable, friendly person with all of my employees, because I have to switch into boss mode and you can't blur the lines, because then who's going to see you as a CEO?
Right. You want to try to, I guess, get that mindset of respecting yourself, respecting that, hey, you are a boss and you're trying to make boss moves. But even as solopreneurs, with that, sometimes I find it's hard trying to, I guess, juggle each aspect and each, what I want to say, each part of your business, because each part needs their own person.
Mhm.
To be honest, but one thing is good for solopreneurs, y'all use those automations, okay? that at least eliminate two people that you might need.
Exactly. And you mentioned about respect, getting respect. So you
Hmm.
have to respect the position. So even if you
Respect
want
the,
to
yeah.
be, that down in the weeds person, talking to everyone, you have to respect the position. Even you as the CEO has to respect what the CEO has to do. And sometimes it's tough decisions. Sometimes it's always going to be decisions.
Right.
So you have to be able to maneuver and shift into that CEO mindset out of the employee, where I just want to go, to happy hour with all my friends at work. Now I have to separate myself to a certain extent.
To a
Being
certain
CEO.
extent, yeah. You got
Exactly.
being a CEO is all about, how you carry yourself as well too, um in your business and in the public and in them social media streets. I
In
always
all
want
the
to,
streets. Yes.
all the streets. I think another mindset change that I is money.
Oh, yeah. Money
Your
mindset is
finances.
it's huge. And I don't think that we understand how big of a shift the money mindset is, especially when we have worked for someone else, or so most of your ideas about money were given to you and embedded in you before you were 7 years old.
Right.
So if you grew up in a house where they said, money doesn't grow on trees, or who has some McDonald's money,
Huh.
you were taught that you have to work hard in order to make more money. You want to make more money, you got to work harder.
You got to work 12 hours a day and come home, leave when the roosters get up, and come home when the sun set. Like, I just feel like people in general, not even entrepreneurs, just our relationship with how we view money and what is used for and where we spend it. And I think just this past year, getting deeper into my business and seeing last year, the potential money that it can make, it's kind of hard. Like, okay, I'm not getting my nails done no more. Like, I'd rather use, that $65. That's $65. $65 can go in a whole marketing for 2 weeks, advertising on Facebook for $5 a click.
Right.
Or something like that. It's just, and I think it's not so much like how the fact that you're spending money, is probably like where we're spending it. How are we utilizing it? And I really had to change the mindset on some things are just things that I want. It can wait. It'll be greater later.
Exactly. And not just personal things, but even like you said, the way we look at money, the way we spend money, what we've
Mm-hmm.
been taught money should be spent for, what it's used
Mm-hmm.
for. A lot of times in certain cultures, you're taught that you don't take risk with money. So
Yeah, you crazy. You better save it and put it in a
save it,
phone.
you don't risk it. So you don't play the stock market. You don't do things that are risky because money is too hard to come by.
Come by.
And that's a money mindset that people have grown up with, which once you are in a different place, when you know better, you do better. I tell people all the time, it's easier to make $30,000 in a day than it is to make $30,000 in a year.
It definitely is.
So if you had a high ticket coaching program, you can make $30,000 in a day, or you can
Right.
work 40 hours a week, 2,080 hours a year, and make that same $30,000.
Right.
Like
Right.
success loves speed. So a lot of people talk
Yes.
about,
Yes.
I want to make $1 million. But how do you want to make $1 million? Because you can make $1 million in a year,
Mm-hmm.
or you can make $1 million over 20 years working a $40,000 a year job. You still made $1 million. But
So
would you
how
rather
quick?
have made $1 million in a year or made $1 million working for 20 years?
Right. Of course, they're gonna pick the year,
Exactly. So
but
it's
it
a money,
takes a
it's a
lot of
mindset.
work.
Say it again.
I'm just saying it just, but it also takes a lot of work as well in order to try and get there. Even if you have that relationship with money, you know, just not even based on how we were raised, whatever. Just say, okay, you know how to spend your money. You have a high ticket program. You can make 30,000 a day. But the work that you put into that high ticket program, the work that you laid into, even your whole mindset that goes to the number one, the CEO mindset. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't even have that type of boss mentality, you're not even gonna go into number two with
Right.
ruling over your money.
Exactly. I mean, that's the way we spend it, the way we use it, how we view it. There are some people that are gonna get money and they're just gonna blow it. And there are
Yeah,
some people that are gonna invest it. And there
yeah.
are some people that are going to save it. So
I would do both.
it just depends on what your mindset is and what's been embedded into you to do with money. And there are
Yeah,
some, as we're talking about mindsets, there are some things that need to shift as far as how we view money, because the way we view money is how we were taught to view money, not necessarily the way that money should be viewed. I know in our culture, we're taught you don't get a whole lot of credit. You don't want a lot of debt.
yeah. Well, you don't want a lot of credit cards, but in other cultures, credit cards is what
It's the
keeps
way of
them in
life.
business.
It's the
Keep
way
them.
of life to use other people's money.
That's
But
how
again,
they.
in our culture, we're taught don't have a lot of debt, get debt free. And I hear people all the time saying, I want to be debt free. I'm going to pay off all my bills. But guess what? When you pay off for all your bills, now you have no debt, but you also have no money.
You also have no debt, you have no money, and you and if you want it, you have to start all over, and they're not going to give it to you because they don't see the length of, when they look on there and they see the length of time you had something open and it's current. That is account, they take that into accountability when trying to give you more money.
Exactly. So unless we start using the things that are available, the resources, other people's money, credit, things like that, the right
Hmm.
way. And
Right.
a lot of times we were taught not to have debt and not to have credit because we weren't using it correctly. So we got a credit card, we went and ran it up, and then we couldn't pay for it, and then now your credit's bad. But if you use it the right way, which in other cultures they do, they build $1 million businesses with other people's money. And then the
Right.
$1 million that they make, they pay other people back. They
Right.
never touch their liquid cash.
Right. And that's something that, I have literally been learning on how those credit cards work and how you can use them to your full advantage. And one other thing that I wanted to say about, just having a, a better financial mindset is to keep your kids or your nieces, your nephews, keep your family out your pocket. Because I found that when people think that you are just coming up just a little bit, you want a discount, you want discounted prices, or or my kids feel like, oh well, I can go to the hair store and stay a little longer for them. No, we still on the budget, because you don't want to overspend. Just because you may get an influx coming in, don't live beyond your means. Don't live beyond
Exactly.
your personal means or your business means.
Exactly. So money mindset shifts are definitely needed when you go into business for yourself. We are going to take a quick break. and we will be right back. Are you an expert or thought leader in your industry? Would you like to be a guest or advertise on the Wholistic Business Plug show? Here we provide a dynamic platform to share your insights, engage with our audience, while plugging your brand and telling your story. Our network attracts a diverse audience from all walks of life with over 700,000 active viewers in 11 countries on all major streaming services. Don't miss the chance to take your business to the next level. Contact us and let us help you reach new heights. Welcome back. We are in the midst of talking about mindset and how your mindset affects your entrepreneurial journey. So the next mindset that we are going to jump into is your family mindset. So of course we know that our mindset has to change when it comes to family, especially when we become entrepreneurs and how our lives are affected. We've talked about that in season 1, how our families are affected, things change. So what kind of shifts did you have to do as far as your family and your mindset towards your family when you became
just that it's not all about me. Seriously though, because like if I think about my answer back in season 1, and we were talking about, getting the family's buy-in, checking in with them to make sure, all our decisions are good, whatever. But, I learned what I've learned now over the course of, I guess, about 5 months is that it's not all about me, and that I need to carve out just family time individually too, like individual for my husband, individual with the kids, and then everybody together, because they don't want to hear about Chastity does that every day. They don't want to hear about it. Even when I tell them, like, even my girl, I'll be like, yeah, I got this such and such views, or somebody hit me up and said this. They
don't care.
Yeah, they can definitely care less. Even when I'm trying to talk to my husband about a new tech idea, because I'm a nerd when it comes to that, or something that I've seen on Chat GPT or something, and he listens, but he don't listen either. So I guess my mindset shift on that is not necessarily getting them to always agree, but to try to separate my business from the personal life, and just keep it separated, because it seems like it works better for us. What about you? What you and Phil got going?
It definitely does at times work better to keep it separate. My husband is newly retired, so he wants to hear about the business. He wants to know what's going on, what's happening. Still trying to get him to work. That's a struggle in the business, because
you've been trying that for about 3 months now.
Yeah, longer than that. But we're still working on that. He keeps saying, "Well, I'm gonna take this over," and I'm like, "You don't want to work. You're fired, sir." But but just as far as, like you said, they are not necessarily all in with the business like you are, because it's your baby. So you are all in. So you eat, breathe, sleep the business.
Yes.
And with your family, that's not necessarily the case. They have other things going on. So just trying to get that balance as far as what balance. We can talk about business for a little while, but then let's shift over and let's watch a movie. Like, we don't have to sit here and talk about business all night. And my husband and I, we run a business together too. So it's my business and his business, and he does his things on the side. So we definitely have to find that balance in our mindset as far as how we balance life and family, business
and family. And I feel like that because Jackson, he likes to hear updates and good things that I'm doing. But sometimes I think we talk about just the business and just how to make money and just how to come up, just the whole hustle. I mean, we both entrepreneurs. We talk about it a lot. So I was just like, I don't want to talk about work. Like, like, I know we the hustle, I just don't want to talk about it, and I get that. I get that. It's important.
Yes.
Which really turns over to creativity mindset.
So yes, so as an entrepreneur, I feel like your creativity is heightened. So I feel like when you work for someone, you are pretty much in like the rat race. Like you get up, you go to work, you get up, you commute, you go to work, you get off, you commute, you come home, you cook dinner, you do whatever you do at home, and then you get up and do it again.
Right.
So you get in that rat race mentality where you are basically on autopilot. You can get up, get dressed, go to work, and be sitting at your desk and not remember anything that happened in between you waking up and getting to work, because you
Right.
literally are on autopilot.
Right. You
And I feel
do.
like the autopilot stifles our creativity. So personally, I can tell you that when I became an entrepreneur, a full-time entrepreneur, my creativity gene, so I'm already a creative person, but the ideas and businesses and things that came to me after I wasn't in the rat race of just being on autopilot were overwhelming.
Yep.
The
Yep.
ideas, the businesses, I had to try to siphon through what was for me, what I should give to someone else. Like
Girl,
the ideas were overwhelming. And it
that's
was
so
like my
true.
mind just opened up into everything.
Because it's like your mind for so long, for 20 years, was in a box.
Exactly.
In a box that you never tried to think outside of.
Because you just did your job.
You just did, yeah, you just did your job. You came home, like you say. I went to work. How was work? It was work. Like,
And you could probably do your job in your sleep. So you didn't even have to think about doing it.
no, so much repetitiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, how your mind just opened up to so many different ideas. And I swear, like within that first 4 to 6 months, I know I had changed my business services or whatever I was gonna do 50 times. Because at first, I'm gonna be an author. I could do this with the books. I mean, it's just like it's so much for you to grab onto. But like you say, and in one of our other episodes, y'all check it out, niche strategy. When you really just step back, and take all of my ideas and put it down and kind of figure out what works for you. But you're right, that creativity level just, I mean, opened up, and it's still there because what
Mm-hmm.
we say, go deep, not wide.
Exactly. And it's definitely a mindset shift from being in a box to
Yeah.
now you have all these creative juices flowing, and it's a mindset shift. And if you
Mm-hmm.
don't understand what's happening, again, you'll be overwhelmed. You won't know your business ideas, your business,
Your business gonna
focus
be
will
all over the
change.
place.
Your focus will change every couple of days because you think of something else, which was again what I had to do as far as honing in and realizing that, oh, all these business ideas are not for me. Some of these I
Yes.
need to hand off to other people. Like I give you business ideas all the time, and I give other people business ideas because I'm like, all of this is not for me. And if I try to do all of this, like you said, I'm gonna be all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, that's seriously all over the place. And I was there before because I'm like, okay, well, man, that sounds like a good idea. That sounds real lucrative. I might could do that. And I think you said this about having the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we know everything don't mean you have to do everything. That's number one. And all, and also, people have knowledge but don't apply it, and that's okay. I can know, like you said, I can know how to cook. I do. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
great cook, but I do not want to be a caterer. Like,
That part, yes.
you
And even with
know,
the knowledge thing, I was just telling you before we started today that I was talking to someone yesterday, and she was like, "Wait, you sound like you're in IT," and I'm like, "No, I know IT, but that's not what I do.
hmm
There's some things I can do in IT, and
right.
I'm very familiar with information technology, but I do compliance." She's like, "I
Right.
never met a compliance person that knows so much about IT and they can set up like
But
systems." And I was like, well, it's just something that I know, but it's not necessarily something I'm gonna build a business around.
Right. And that's right. Just because you know, or you may be good at some things or knowledgeable, that's because as entrepreneurs, you have to constantly educate yourself anyway. So, I mean, a little knowledge here, a little sprinkle here ain't gonna hurt nothing. It's nothing doing but helping. Add to the
Exactly.
resume.
And I am definitely a lifelong learner. I will dive into research and doing all, which is how I learned IT. Um, I was actually like the backup IT onboarder at the company, but I didn't get paid for it because I'm not in IT. They just found out that I knew how to do it.
Right.
So, yeah, you definitely have to make sure that in that creativity mindset that you're focusing in on what your business is
Yes.
and what your services are. And
Right.
it's okay to give some of that creativity away. A lot of times we like
Yeah.
to gatekeep and hold on to things because, I don't want anybody making more money than me. I don't want anybody exceeding more than me, but it's okay to
It's
give those things
okay.
away. Like I said, I give away business ideas. I help people all the time. They say, "Oh, I want to do this." Well, did you think about doing this
Did you think
and
about
this?
doing this? Yeah.
You can do all of that with that same idea. And they're like, "Oh no." So it's okay to not don't gatekeep the information.
People have to realize it's enough money for everybody, and you're not going to be good at everything just because you know about it. If somebody has the business credit and the capital to go off and do real estate or flip houses or whatever, and you have the information on how they can get there faster, give it to them. You don't want to do real estate.
Exactly. And like you said, it's enough money out there for everyone. And me helping your light shine does not make my light any dimmer. It's okay.
No, it
My light's
it
still gonna be bright if I help you brighten your light. It's okay.
yes, it's still gonna be right. So this next mindset is really crazy. Fear. You know, I be scared a lot, but sometimes I gotta jump because
But I have a quote sitting up on my desk that says, "If fear is the only thing that's stopping you, do it afraid."
do it afraid. You have to, because when you are stepping out of that corporate world, and like I say, you're coming out with the mindset of an employee, and you're like, okay, well, now I kind of need to shift. I'm building my own business. It is scary
Mm-hmm.
because you're leaving the only constant financial stability that you know. And I mean, and you've known that for 20 years. So now I'm gonna step out and just say I'm gonna wait for a check to come.
Look, I gotta hustle up on a contract. It's all scary.
Hmm.
And they say, jumping out into entrepreneurship is hard, but working for somebody is hard too. So you have to just kind of overcome that fear mindset. And
Yep.
it's not always, sometimes it's a fear of failure. Like, I'm out here, I'm doing this, and I might not be successful at it because a lot of the entrepreneurs today are first generation entrepreneurs. They didn't have a game plan or a blueprint that showed them what to do.
Right. And even the things like what we're teaching here on the Holistic Business Plug, if I'd had all of these resources and tools and things that I 20 years ago, baby, I wouldn't be trying to hustle right now. Like just the things at our fingertips. And that's scary when you don't know, because you don't know what you don't know. Right.
Exactly.
And that part, is just like, okay, am I scared that I'm gonna fail financially? Am I scared that sometimes I'm not even scared of a negative impact? I'm scared that I'm doing too good. So it might
Look, the fear of success is
like
a
I'm
real thing. I tell people all the time. A lot of times
okay.
people are afraid to fail, but more people are afraid to succeed than they are to fail. Because guess what? I don't know what that looks like.
I don't
I
know
don't
what.
know. I don't know what it looks like to have $1 million business, a 7-figure business, or an eight
Right,
figure business. I don't know
right.
what that looks like. I don't know if I get there. What is that going to demand of me?
What is yes.
It's the unknown, and
It's
that's
the
what fear
unknown.
is
Mhm.
I mean, false evidence appearing real, you don't have any evidence to prove otherwise. So you're
Right.
afraid of the unknown.
Right, right, right. I don't have any evidence of a six-figure business, but I hope to get it. And but it's just like, okay, so when you get there, then what I'm gonna do?
Right.
You
Because there's
know,
levels to this.
it is.
There are levels to this. And yeah, that fear is definitely real. It's definitely a mindset that we have to work ourselves out of. Even not just fear of failure, but fear of kind of the imposter syndrome. Like,
Oh yeah,
why would anybody pay me?
yeah,
I'm going
yeah,
out here and I'm doing this, but I'm afraid that I'm going to walk in there and nobody's going to pay me to do this.
yeah. That right there, that's wild. I hate when that imposter syndrome creeps up because it's like, why is she coming to me? But I know I'm good, but you could have chose anybody else, but you chose me, and I'm like, okay, so sometimes when that happens, it's like I almost over deliver.
Mm-hmm.
Even it's like I go way above, and my anxiety just won't even let me have it.
Won't even let you enjoy it. I understand.
Won't let me enjoy it. I'm like, I gotta make sure this, and I mean, and then it's crazy because your client on the other line, they're so impressed. They're so they be so amazed.
So impressed. And you over here stressing out because you like, I have to over deliver because I have to make sure that they get what they wanted, when really they just wanted you to do what you do already. And I've told my story. I told my story in season 1 about, I got offered, a job came after me and they paid me all this money. And I was like, they must think I know something I don't know.
Right.
Like, why would they give me this kind of money?
Right.
When that's a mindset that we have to overcome, and we have to figure out and say, I'm worth that.
I'm worth that.
People come to me and book my services because I know what I'm doing. And they understand that I know what I'm doing. I just don't realize that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, do we know that we know what we're doing?
Exactly. That's the thing. Do I know that I know what I know? Enough to
what
do
I
it
know.
Right. Exactly. Look, we have got to take a break. We will be right back after these messages.
Are you a busy business owner with no time to promote your brand? Tired of trying to figure out what captions to write, what to post, when to post? You still haven't mastered graphics and how to use hashtags? At Chastity Does That, we will help you save time and money by doing these things for you. Allow Chastity Does That to manage your social media platforms, giving you time to grow and expand your business.
Welcome back to the Wholistic Business Plug show. Tonight we are talking all about mindset. And yes, me and Tamika was giggling so hard before we left, but we are back. And so let's just jump right into that self-care mindset. How has self-care changed for you in the course of being a business owner? How do you look at it?
So I have always thought that I took care of myself. So even when I worked as an employee, I would go get my massages and I would, go have some drinks and whatever the case may be. But it's different as a business owner because, I could go get my massage when I get off work at 4:00. I could go to happy hour at 4:00, at 5:00. As a business owner, I don't get off at 4:00. I don't know about you, but it's a lot more intentional. I have to be very intentional about making sure I am participating in self-care, making sure that I am taking the time to do so. Because especially starting a business or even running a successful business, until you have like everything automated and running smoothly, you are literally working all the time. Yeah. People are like, I want to have my own business so I can, have freedom with my time and flexibility. And I'm like, that ain't why you start a business.
That's definitely not in the beginning, baby.
Look, for the first 5 years, you're going to work more in your business than you ever did for anybody else.
Right.
As you should. But it's not, you don't start a business in order to be able to travel whenever you want to initially. Now, yes, that will come. I do have flexibility where I can pick up and leave. I love the fact that I don't have to ask anybody for PTO or to be off work. I just book a ticket. But initially, you are going to be working in your business 7 days a week at times.
Yeah. Because even when I booked that ticket, I got to bring a laptop with me.
I got to bring a laptop. I got to probably have some meetings while I'm gone. You know, it just is what it is. As a business owner, you are responsible for the whole company.
Yeah. I know for me, the self-care mindset, I used to think self-care was outer. Going to get my hair done, going to my toes done. You know, I like to do that. I like to do that. But for me and this business, self-care had to kind of start from within. And I had to like start nourishing what I'm putting into my body, whether it's just positive, being around positive people. To me, it's self-care because, you know, I used to be around a lot of drama and caught up in a lot of, you know, just a lot of drama. You know, that's over 10 years ago. But still, that negativity, being around someone who is miserable all the time, I think self-care for me was building my relationship, getting closer to God as spiritual. Um, just trying to do a lot of inner work on how I respond because as a professional, I have to be able to come have my outward experience be, you know, I want to be approachable. I want to know how to respond to things. I want to know how to control my emotions. So that's what self care has been for me.
I love it. I love that you mentioned internal because it is definitely like you have to focus on that.
Yeah.
And being a business owner, it can be easy to put that to the back burner. Like you said, your spirituality. It can be easy to work 7 days a week and not tend to your spirituality or not tend to, you know, anything else but work, your mental health, things like that. Taking care of all of that is a part of self-care. So yes, definitely.
Yeah, self-care is super important. It's the mindset that you said before that you have to be intentional about. You have to be intentional about taking care of yourself because if you don't take care of yourself inward and outwardly, who's going to take care of your business? Because baby, you are the boss, you are the CEO. This is your business, your vision, no one else's, and they're not going to. Yeah, nobody gonna care for it the way that you do. So you know.
Exactly. All right. So our next mindset is time management. So how have you want me to go first? You want me to get yourself together? All right. So time management, as far as a mindset, it is definitely like all of the other ones. It is a mindset shift because when you worked as an employee, guess what your time management was? I worked between 8 and 4 every day. It doesn't matter. Now, as a business owner, I work between 8 a.m. and 8 a.m. Like there is no time off. There is, but it's a shift. It's a mindset shift because you have to make sure that you manage your time and you have to make sure that you have the discipline to say, oh, I can get up whenever I want. But can you really get up whenever you want if you want to?
I've been lost that discipline. I had to really get on that because I used to sleep late. I don't sleep late anymore.
Yeah, because I mean you have the option to get up whenever you want, but you need to have the discipline to get up and work your business. So even if I don't have to show up at somebody's job, I need to have the discipline to get up and go to work.
Show up for yourself.
Exactly. Show up for myself as much as I showed up for other people and
Hello.
other people's businesses.
Hello.
So the time management, where now, I mean, I personally, I know that I work better, I think better in the afternoon, but I still get up. I still do things that don't require me to think a whole lot in the morning. And then things that I need to be analytical and think about, I do in the afternoon, because in that time management, I have to learn myself and learn how my time clocks work. Versus just, working for someone else. You work between these 8 hours, and after these 8 hours, you go home. Well, unless you work remote, because remote people work whenever the computer dings. But it's definitely a mindset shift in time management to make sure that you have the discipline to actually manage your time and know that you do control your time as far as when you work, when you're off, things like that. But having the discipline to know that my business is a priority and my time management has to reflect that.
Yeah, I think I switched my schedule because I was trying, at first I think I was trying to be like, and I guess this goes to in the beginning where everybody's throwing out ideas of the best way to be an entrepreneur, you early bird, get the worm. Well, I stay up late, so I get it too. So, but saying that because they were like, okay, well, you get up at 5, you got to get up at 5 a.m. and be online at 6 so that you can do da. I mean, I've done that, but I didn't like to do it. When I get up at 6, I want to get up and rest my mind and actually do other things in the house to like prepare for the day. And so then, bam, I'm like, okay, well, what time am I going to work till? I'm up there trying to literally come up with a time schedule. But most times, it doesn't work like that because, okay, bam, I have to stop at this time. I have to go pick up the kids. So then I might be in the office at night till 11 p.m. working and sending out emails or doing whatever. But I guess for me, the time management is just putting my business first as if it was, thinking like it is a corporation. Just putting my business first.
Yes. And I definitely had to come up with a schedule because I would be the one that be in the office at 7:30 and I would be there until 10:30. But I'm like, I can't stay up
p.m., ladies and gentlemen. She means
10:30
p.m. from 7:30 a.m. I just want to put that out there so they know. And she had the eat. You got to remind her to eat. She just started doing DoorDash a little.
So yes, my time management now, my business, I do not start working until 10 a.m.
Yes,
and I am out of my office by 6:30, 7 o'clock. I don't just extend that time just because I can, just because I work for myself, just because my office is upstairs. I actually have a schedule. So I don't work before 10. I'm up before 10. Like you said,
right. I'm up before 10.
I'm preparing myself for the day, but I don't go into my office and sit down to work before 10 a.m. And then I try not to stay past 6:30-ish. But yes.
Well, see, I go 10. I go 10 to 12 real hard, 2 hours, do not disturb, no interruptions. And then I probably eat a little lunch and come back 1 to 3:30. And then after that, I'm with the family. I don't really work after 3:30 until everybody goes to bed. And then, okay, I can be on my laptop at 9 or 10. I don't come back upstairs. I just stick on the laptop. I ain't coming back up here. I've been up here all day.
Time management is definitely a mindset that you have to shift when you become an entrepreneur, because now you do control your time, and now you have to make sure that you manage it correctly so that your business can thrive and grow.
So not only do you control your time, but you control your success. My mindset. A successful mindset can really shift the way you view a lot of things. because now, since season one, I make sure that I write my affirmations and how I want my week to go on my mirrors in the morning so that I can repeat it to myself. I'm going to be successful. My business is a big business. Like, I say things to myself to keep me in the mindset of I'm doing great. Just keep going.
Exactly. And even in success, with the mindset piece of it, as an entrepreneur, success looks a little different than as an employee. So as an employee, success was get a promotion, as we mentioned before, get more degrees, be successful. As an entrepreneur, success looks a lot different. Success might just mean I made it through the day and I signed one client. That's a successful day.
That is exciting.
Or I sent out pitch emails. Today was a success. It is not so much as a big, huge thing. I think as an entrepreneur, it's more you celebrate as you go. You celebrate
everything. Like, all the small wins are important because they lead up to the big
wins. To the big wins. Exactly. So as an entrepreneur, you realize that those small wins do lead to your big wins. One step is a journey of 1,000 steps starts with one. So that one step is a win to get to that 1,000.
Yeah.
So I think that's the mindset shift about success, is what we look at success as now versus what we thought it was when we were employed.
Right.
And then when we were employed, we were technically making our boss successful.
Yeah. And I challenge our audience to get into that successful mindset and really challenge yourself on how great you could be. Because, like you said, we're making the boss successful. And we can definitely do that in our own businesses for our own selves.
Yes. So, do we need to take a break?
Yeah.
Are you fed up with your organization's current training methods? Are you and your employees bored with the same old tedious lectures and assignments? It's time for a change. Comply Prep offers an innovative online e-learning solution that covers every aspect of your business. With interactive lessons, learning has never been more engaging and efficient. Put an end to the frustration and welcome a new era of learning. Try Comply Prep now and feel the difference. Compliance made simple. Welcome back. We are talking about mindset. We have covered a lot of different mindsets, giving you all our insights. It's been a lot of giggles today, based on our experiences with different mindsets. So we're going to jump into decision making.
Yes.
So how has your decision making mindset shifted from being an employee to an entrepreneur?
I'm trying not to make dumb decisions. Look, I'm trying to make as least complicated decisions as I can, because as an entrepreneur, we're not going to get it all right all the time. I definitely live off trial and error, but the way I think about the decisions that I make is I try to make everything beneficial to my business and make it beneficial to me, because a lot of people do come and they throw out ideas, or even my husband may have an idea. Sometimes my mama have ideas, but I have to like really hone in and not make decisions based off of my feelings. I have to make rational decisions. I take my time and make decisions now, because in the beginning of my business, I was like, okay, well, great. I'm going to do this. I'm going to implement this. I'm going to put this in. And then I'm left with all these subscriptions I'm paying for. And I done paid for this class and this class that they helped me at all. So just really honing in on my decisions and being more thorough when I make them.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I think as far as me with decision making, just thinking about decision making as an employee, you had like a policy. Like I didn't really have to make any decisions. I wasn't management, so I did have to make decisions for my employees and things like that. But you are more structured as an employee, and your decision making is limited versus being a CEO. Now you decide on everything in your business.
Everything.
And
that's hard.
And my decision making has shifted because, again, the decisions that I make in my business can bankrupt my business. They can set my business back. So I have to be very strategic about how I make decisions in my business, and making sure that the decisions that I'm making, I'm thinking about the entire picture versus just what I'm looking at the moment. So how does this affect the business in 2 years? This decision, how does it affect it in 5 years?
Right.
So the decision-making mindset has had to shift into looking at bigger pictures and not so much worried about there is some worry about making a bad decision, but I always say either you win or you learn. So you either make a good decision and you win, or now you figured out what doesn't work if you made a bad decision. But it's all a part of the process and trusting the process and making sure that you are, again, being strategic about your decision making, making sure that you are looking at the big picture so that even if a decision turns out to be the wrong one, I actually did my due diligence. I didn't just make this decision on a whim. I can live with the fact that the decision wasn't good. Let's move on.
Right. Absolutely. Decision making at its finest. I definitely like when you said, like, we didn't have a lot of power as an employee to make decisions, but in your own business, we are the decision makers, and look past the box and look, further into the future. I like that.
Exactly. All right, so we are going to now jump into our segment of what we are reading. And this week we are reading Exactly What to Say, The Magic Words of Influence and Impact. And I love this book because it doesn't just tell you what to say, but it'll tell you, instead of saying this, say this to have the biggest impact on the people that you are speaking to. So hopefully you have enjoyed our show tonight, where we have discussed mindset and the different shifts that we've had to have from being an employee to being a business owner. Be sure to join us on our Facebook page, The Wholistic Business Plug, for off-air discussions. That's a wrap for tonight. You all have a good evening.
Bye, guys.